Now, this is my opinion on what's wrong with Batman vs Superman. I mean, when the movies are announced, I was excited. There are two favorite characters from DC facing off against each other. In theory, that sounds fun, but in reality, Batman doesn't stand a chance against Superman. Anyway you look at it, I mean, Superman has super strength, super speed. He could easily defeat Batman. He could easily kill him if you want to. So the plot makes absolutely no sense. So let's get into the movie. Now, in the movie, you see Bruce Wayne dealing with the aftermath of what happened with Superman fighting Zod. And he decides Superman's too powerful and has to be stopped. He's too dangerous and has to be stopped. So he decides to find a way to kill him. And so he decides to create an Iron Man-like armor suit, a lower tech suit, to protect himself against Superman, to fight him. Which I don't really see the point of. How is that thing gonna stop Superman? Yeah, no way that's gonna stop Superman if Superman decides to fight seriously. And yeah, so in this movie, you see Batman going out, calling out Superman and deciding to fight him. First of all, he gives a warning, and then he decides to go after Superman and fight him. And obviously, Superman doesn't fight him seriously because Superman doesn't like to kill people. Plus, he's also dealing with the aftermath what happened with Zod. So he doesn't try to overexert himself, because if he does that, he knows he'll kill him easily. But that's the one mistake that Superman made, going too easy on him, because thinking that he couldn't do anything to him. But Batman had a secret weapon in hand. He had some kryptonite. Now, I don't remember where he got the kryptonite from, but yeah, so he has kryptonite, and he used that to weaken Superman, which actually turns into a fair fight, even if it's just for a little while. Batman beats up Superman, which is really funny when you think about it, but that happens. And and during this movie, you see Lex Luthor taking Zod's body and trying to revive it in this pool, which basically mutates Zod's body, and he becomes Doomsday. Now, Doomsday is arguably one of Superman's greatest enemies, because Doomsday is kind of like a Kryptonian monster. And Doomsday wakes up and he decides to go on a rampage and destroy the city. Now, before this happens, Batman and Superman finally start fighting, because both their mothers' names are Martha. Oh yeah, and the only reason Superman's fighting Batman is because Lex Luthor kidnapped his mother, and they start fighting because Bruce hears her name, and that's ridiculous. Whatever. So yeah, they start fighting, they suddenly become friends, and then there's Doomsday. Now Doomsday shows up and they have to stop him, but not before Doomsday completely destroys the city. I mean, he's super powerful in this movie. And so Superman and Batman team up to fight him, and then all of a sudden Wonder Woman shows up, and the three of them start fighting him together. Now, Wonder Woman was in this movie earlier, but she didn't have any sort of role, so no one really cares. But yeah, she's in this movie. So the three of them start fighting each other. It's a pretty hardcore fight. I mean, Superman and Wonder Woman taking on Doomsday is understandable, but Batman taking on Doomsday, that's even more ridiculous than Superman taking on Doomsday. Let's be real. But Batman managed to survive, and he actually shoots at Doomsday, and I don't know what he was planning to do by doing that. But yeah, he attacks Doomsday, and then in the end, it seems like Doomsday is unstoppable, and the only way to stop him is by using the Kryptonium. the kryptonite that Batman had stored to kill Superman. It's in the form of rod. So Superman goes and finds the rod of Kryptonium, and then he rushes after Doomsday, and Doomsday charges after him, and Superman manages to stab Doomsday with the rod and kills him, but Doomsday also impales Superman with the spike, and apparently Superman dies at the end of the movie. Now this is the second movie in the DCU, by the way, and Superman's already dead, even before the Justice League has come together. So yeah, Superman dies in this movie, which, come on. This shouldn't happen this early on in the universe. This is the entire problem with the DCU. They don't have any sense of timing or anything. So yeah, they die, Superman dies, and everyone has a mass funeral for Superman, because now that he's dead, everyone loves him, but before that, people seem to hate him. Come on, man. So Superman's dead, and Batman's left reeling with what to do next. And we see what happens because of that in the next movie, which is the Justice League, which is the completely another disaster for the DCU. Oh my god. Anyway, that's what happens in the movie, and honestly, this movie shouldn't have happened. This Doomsday is a Justice League level villain, and they brought him into the second movie, which is basically about Superman and Batman fighting each other, and they end up facing off against Doomsday. I mean, it doesn't fit a storyline. You know how powerful Doomsday is, and they don't have the firepower to beat him. And so yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And the Lex Luthor in this movie also sucks. I don't really like him, that version of him anyway. It's a complete, yeah, it's full of problems, to say the least. This movie shouldn't have existed this early on in the universe. This should have been something that comes after Justice League 1 or Justice League 2. Then maybe we could have understood this. But early on, no. There was no reason for this movie to come up. I mean, sure, it was fun seeing Batman and Superman interacting with each other, since we never actually seen that in live action before. But yeah, other than that, this movie isn't that great. Now, the only good thing I have to say about this movie was Wonder Woman. I actually liked her character, even though she had a tiny role in it. She seemed very energetic. She seemed to fit the role. Gal Gadot played Wonder Woman in this movie. She seemed like a good version of Wonder Woman. So yeah, well, that's my problem with this movie.